Hi, today our topic is outsourcing. Outsourcing is a business practice of hiring a party outside a company to perform services and create goods that traditionally were performed in-house by the company's own employees and the staff. So usually this practice is taken to cost cutting, but there are many other reasons to do the outsourcing in a business nowadays. So let's discuss what are the reasons of outsourcings are, and what are the downsides of outsourcing for a business in today's presentation. So these are the some of the reasons of the companies outsource some of their functions to a third party outside of their organization. So as I mentioned earlier, the first reason usually is the cost cutting, so and the cost saving. So we outsource those functions where we think we are not very efficient and effective. So we outsource those to the companies which can work better at less cost. The second reason in this picture you can see is the space management. Basically, it is the capacity management, that if we lack some capacity in some of the functions, so we outsource that function to the third party so they can do the better. The next one is the improved quality. So this is another, I think this is also part of the capacity. So maybe we cannot do some work at a at better quality. So we outsource this to the another company or another business which has better quality. Then cost reconstruction is like we uh, we use that to reconstruct the cost once that in later on we can have more profit and efficiency in that particular function or particular process or activity. Then another major reason in my opinion is focusing on the core business. So this is saying that do the things which you can do best. So just we focus more on those functions or activities which can we do best, and the rest we should outsource to the third party. Then scalability is a like flexibility. If we need more production, we can hire outside source to increase our production instead of putting the machines ourselves. Same thing in warehousing, same thing in other function of the supply chain management. So we can adjust the flow of work or activity or volume of activities by outsourcing them, and then when we don't need that, then we will finish that contract. Another major reason is the risk management. So by outsourcing we spread our risk, and partner other people also in our risk. Like we all of these reasons are like quality, scalability and cost saving. We all because when we do this in house we take some risks. So by handing over or delegating these things to other companies, we are basically also sharing our risk, and same time we are cost cutting and improve our bottom line. So these are the few of the reasons where we, for that reason, we outsource our some of our functions. These I'm going to discuss some of the prerequisites of outsourcing. So outsourcing, it looks very good on the surface, but it is very complex and complex phenomena. So we have to think before outsourcing about these things which I am going to mention here. Like for a company to effectively outsource responsibility, it is very important that they focus on the total business partnership. It is not just the logistic. It is like holistic approach. You have to be. It is like outsourcing is like marrying, and it is like for long term and relationships. So outsourcing is about managing deep relationship more than just a service level agreement, and it is a partnership, not just a project. So which has a beginning and ending, but it is long, like I mentioned, it's a long time and it's a deep relation and total relationship. So if you are ready for this kind of things, or if you finding some partner which you think is, then you can outsource. Then it is also very important that you can maintain and secure a trusted relationship, which is very essential in outsourcing efforts, and it is more complex than just establishing a service level or just a timely relations. So if you are ready, like I'm saying again, then you will go for outsourcing. So it is like having a total deep and trusted relationship with some other companies for your business. And usually, I use this word that it is like hand, giving your baby to someone else for babysitting. So be careful when you are outsourcing your business functions. We are going to discuss that challenges we can face in the outsourcing in the later part of this presentation. Uh, Before discussing some of the challenges in the outsourcing, let's see that some types of outsourcing. There are several ways to outsource a business process, and depending on the process, one may be preferable over another. Broadly, there are very few different types based on the distance between the two members of relationship. These types are onshoring, like relocating work or services to a lower cost location in the company's own country. So we just give someone work for close to us in our own country. Then offshoring is relocating work or services to third party provided, which is overseas. It means another country. Then nearshoring is relocating work or services to people in nearby, often bordering region or countries. So in the next country, like in USA, you can outsource to Mexico, but when you are outsourcing to China, it is like offshoring. Then there is another word we use is coming into reshoring, the practice of transferring a business operation that was moved overseas back to country from which it was originally relocated. It is new term coming after that COVID pandemic, that business are bringing their function back to in home. So this is called reshoring. So I hope you have understanding the different type of outsourcing. So the next step is the challenges in outsourcing. I wanted to emphasize on this, that while as a manager you want to outsource, please keep this in mind. Keep in mind these kind of challenges you are going to face. So as outsourcing present variety of advantages, but it could also pose challenges if not done properly or correctly, or not to right third party provided. It could be a disaster. So here are some of the challenges I'm going to discuss with you in outsourcing. So the first one is contracting outsourcing. So it is very important that you will spell out each and everything in your contract. So nowadays people are doing smart contract which using the blockchain, so they have everything and also monitor and follow that contract. So contracting is a major challenge in outsourcing. So be careful when you are, because that is your base of your total relationship. If it is a wrong contract after the selection of the vendor, that you could face a difficult time. Instead of easing your job, it become maybe more difficult. After contract, be ready for losing some managerial control when you are outsourcing. Once the contract is done, so that control belongs to other company. It could be damaging to your company's reputation. So be careful, because you should be ready, or you should have some mechanism to keep your managerial control while you are outsourcing. Then quality issues, of course, you cannot assume that your outsourcing provider is driven by the same mission and standard that drives your company. Usually vendors are focused more on to make a profit from your services they have provided to you, like you or like any other business. So quality may be not their mission, and you may be not on the same page quality wise. So be careful when you are sourcing out. So it may hurt your reputation as a company, as a business. Okay, hidden cost, our major purpose is to save the cost, but sometimes there are some hidden cost which may, later on come out. So it is very important that you will look for the hidden cost and go back to our first challenge, which is contracting. So you should be spelling out everything, that what is your responsibility, what is your cost, and what is their cost, and all these things should be done in detail. So later on there should be no hidden. Another big threat, or is to your security of your data, security of your information, your business things, your formulas, and other secrecies. So if you are outsourcing, you are also compromising on this. So if you have confidential information, then an outsourcing company have to access, so you risk a breach of confidentiality. So if the outsourced task involves sharing proprietary rights, copyrights, company data, or know-how, this must be considered, must be considered while you are contracting or while you are outsourcing. So usually high-tech or high-secret companies don't outsource to any other company, because their major concern is their secrecy. So you can do the trade-off, and then you check if you can go for that or you not. As I mentioned in the beginning, that finding a right vendor and then replacing a right vendor is another big challenge, due to maybe we don't know them. Lack of knowledge about outsourced function means that you could have problem describing service to new suppliers. So this is maybe you don't know what you want to. Then existing agreement may be mostly likely be out of date, or it can be include limits of scope of services, which could have been part of the problem that led to switching. So maybe the already agreement or the contract is not good enough. So you have to do all this exercise again and again to replace a vendor for better outsourcing relationship. So this is another challenge you can face. Okay, while there are very potential challenges, and I try to also give you cautioned you about these things. So many of the potential challenges could be overcome by having a solid outsourcing contract. That is called, sometimes called is a smart contract, which examines several service level agreements, and time frame and measurement, penalties, rewards, and regular review and exit strategy. So we should keep all these things in the agreement, so in a contract, so we can have a upper hand, or we can control, and we can fulfill our objectives of outsourcing. So these are like like I mentioned, measuring, performance measuring, punishment or penalties, and rewarding, incentives or regular reviews, and you should be same page, like I explained you in the prerequisite in the of the outsourcing. So you should be on the same page to have proper outsourcing functioning between you and your provider. Finally, outsourcing trend and future direction. Although outsourcing have been viewed as a way to lower cost and gain efficiency, it is increasingly becoming a strategic tool for companies to get the strategic advantage or competitive advantage over the other competitors. So leading companies understand the outsourcing some function can help them gain a competitive advantage by allowing them to access expertise or innovative technology that they don't have in-house, or maybe helping them deliver products or services more quickly, or enabling them to shift resources to areas of business that are most critical. So outsourcing offers both cost efficiency and increased workload flexibility. So for all these reasons, outsourcing will be going on in future, even though there is a setback due to COVID pandemic, but still it is the advantages are so overwhelmed that it will. I was reading an article that outsourcing will never, it will never end, or it will be going more and more. But more and more things will coming in since it is due to complexities. So this is another topic. So we have another presentation about contracting, and emerging new trends in the contracting for the outsourcing. So I hope you have some better idea about outsourcing, its reasons, its challenges, and its future things. And as a outsource manager, you should look into these things before having a outsource some of your functions. So thank you for your time. See you in next presentation.